It will be. It's not that hard.
That took 3 hours.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No.
I was here.
Stop it.
I was here with
Wes,
Devin.
you stop it right
downstairs.
now. This video is not going to be as complicated as you think it's going to be.
Yes, it is.
I promise you it won't.
It's so going to be so more complicated than it needs to be.
Great. Well, let's get started. Hello, hello. Welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Don't worry, it's not going to be that complicated. We're showing you the 5 hidden gems from GenCon. It's been a little bit.
It's been a little bit.
But I was waiting for you to come up because I actually picked one of these games specifically for my Westiest of times.
Oh, that's so great.
Specifically for you. These are 5 indie games or 5 smaller publishers that we found at GenCon that we wanted to bring home and share.
I love small publishers. They are the heart of the gaming industry. Yeah. That's where all innovation happens, in my personal opinion.
We both have a hard, sweet spot for people that are just trying to make things work. I understand dreams. I understand scraping and scrapping to make it through.
Absolutely.
And man, there's some gems there that, like, if you don't take the time to go look for them, you might not find them.
100%.
We've picked 5, ranging from tiny little indie pubs all the way up to publishers that have had successful campaigns in the past that we think are worth taking a closer look at. I'm going to be ranking them in the order of stuff that you should be paying attention to, and in the order of stuff that's happening now or happening soon. This, Primordial Secrets, is currently over on Kickstarter.
Yes, it is.
I have personally backed it myself, and this is kind of indie of indies. They've got a couple hundred backers right now. They have fully funded, so you're joining a dedicated or a guaranteed game. And this is one that I actually was drawn to initially with the artwork.
Okay.
Didn't agree to cover until I got to GenCon and was able to sit down and play it in person. The designer, the publisher, is such a stand-up gentleman.
So, let me ask you this question. Why was it that you felt that it wasn't worth covering previously?
I just wasn't entirely sold. I was attracted to the artwork.
Okay.
But the game looked a little bit more complex than what I wanted to spend time digging into.
Sure.
And you know how our schedule is. It's harder and harder for us to say yes to things.
Very much.
And we're figuring out how to say yes to indies purposefully, but more and more often. So,
love it.
Here's the cool thing. Primordial Secrets has this weird, artistic, macabre style. It's a game set in a thematic world around demons. Demons that are hosting summoning parties and having other demons kind of over to be part of their nightmare cults, as far as I'm aware.
It's kind of cool.
And it is a deck-building game as well, which is a genre of game that I actually really love. It's one of, if you mention deck-building, I am interested no matter what. So, what's happening here is you're going to have a hand of cards. You're going to start off like a classic deck-building game, playing down cards in various different locations. 3 into the visiting party, 3 into the hosting party.
Okay.
The interesting part with this game is your visiting party will be visiting your opponent's hosting party, and your hosting party will be receiving your opponent's visiting party.
Okay.
Now, when your friend sends his demons over to visit you, you're comparing and competing different stats. Okay. That's going to judge whether or not you pull some endgame victory points, what type of macabre effects you have on your opponent's hand of cards, and then on top of that, what you have to purchase from the buying pool, which is the marketplace, that can scale you up to these super expensive, but also increasingly powerful, sort of larger demons. There is so much unique artwork throughout this entire thing, and I understand the artwork may not be for everyone. However, if you're like me and you like the weird Kingdom Death style, the vibe of the nightmarish stuff, this is right there for you. It's right in that sweet spot. There. The other unique thing, West, the thing that I think, for me, makes this one stand up and above some of its competition, you can play this 3 and 4 player.
Oh,
and
really?
the way they've solved for a deck-building game in a 3 to 4 player universe is really cool.
Okay.
You have these arrow cards. They look like this.
Okay.
You set one down, face down in this location here. Your visiting intent. And what that does, when you're playing a 4-player game, is the arrow, the direction your visiting party is pointed to, secretly, is the location you're going to be visiting and the hosting party you're going to be comparing with. All 3 players could visit one person. They could split up and divide amongst each other. One person could be hosting this grand ballroom, but they could also be really strong or they could be really weak, and that creates this unique dynamic in the playing field. It's a solution I haven't seen a 3 or 4 player game solve in the deck building marketplace.
So it keeps everyone interested all at the same time.
Everyone matters a little bit, and you've got this hidden element to it where you never quite know who you're pairing up against. or who's going to be pairing up against you.
That's pretty cool.
It's a neat game. It's available over on Kickstarter right now at a great price. And honestly, selfishly, like all these games in this video, if you're interested, I want you to back them. I want you to support these creators. I think they deserve that. And I think it's worth continuing to invest in indie content creators. That being said, swing over to number 2. Number 2 is going to be Mission Control.
It's Mission Control! I got to see this, but I didn't get to play it.
They had the giant exhibit there at Gen Con.
It was so cool.
This is coming from Third World Studios, and this is a little bit of a larger publisher.
It's like Captain Sonar on steroids.
Although still on the edge of indie. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because this will be available for the first time at PAX Unplugged coming up.
In December, right?
Assuming shipping and all that nonsense work out appropriately.
That's awesome.
This is a game that I have been so excited about since demoing it at Origins this year.
Yeah.
It's this cooperative roll and write, flip and write style game where each one of you have asymmetric puzzle points and hidden information. I'll be holding a board here that's trying to figure out these data sets to allow me to unlock puzzle pieces that help you, well, put together your ship. You need to unlock grid locations. You have a polyomino puzzle you're trying to solve. You have data sets and number sets that you're trying to fill in. And cool. Everyone plays within 20 minutes flat. The reason being is because your spaceship is currently careening towards a unintended location, and everything's kind of broken down on you. You have to work together with your crew, kind of like Captain Sonar, shouting out information, trading data, letting you know what type of numbers you need, what type of data you can use, and what resources are available to the crew of the of the Galactic Mercury up here. You have hidden information, and you're all trying to make it so you can solve or fix the ship.
I can't believe you got this game. That's just so cool.
I am genuinely extremely excited about it.
I'm ridiculously excited as well.
So, PAX U, keep an eye out. Let's go ahead and swing over to a slightly more indie projects. And the one I got just for West.
Outrun the Bear! Sweet. As long as you're faster than your friends, that's
West,
all that matters.
Tell me a little bit about the games that you enjoy.
I love games where you hurt other players, where you find the way to penalize your friends for playing games with you.
Yeah, West, does that giant-looking bear seem like something that might be of interest to the type of games you enjoy?
It looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like it's going to eat everyone that's playing the game, and I love that already.
First off, there's a tiny little teddy bear tucked in his butt.
He's a little teddy bear.
He's wearing a slipper.
He is.
It's a dual-sided big acrylic standee.
Super cute.
And I'm a little offended because there's no rubber duck included anywhere in here.
Well,
this is a game.
It could be a pink flamingo slipper. It's possible.
Honestly, if they changed that to a pink flamingo,
it'd be amazing.
You would be thrilled.
I would, 100%.
Outrun the Bear. I found this in the first look call. I scoured through there on Saturday, kind of walked through, looking for stuff that I thought would be interesting and unique to bring to the channel. Every time we go to a convention, we're trying to make sure some of our team members have time to go look at stuff that is not talked about or released yet. And this stood out to me. One, because it has a nice table presence.
It does.
Two, because the crowd of people that were sitting around the table playing through these cards were having a riot. I mean, these cards are the type of cards that really can get you ahead of the bear or just completely screw you and everyone else over. You've got cards like tossing the keys back and forth. You've got people that get stuck in mud. You've got tying other people's shoelaces, and just all of that take that nonsense you would want to use if you were trying to not necessarily outrun the bear, but outrun everyone else around the bear.
That's all that matters.
It's all that matters.
Just be faster than one other person. That's all you need.
It is a lightweight, screw you, card-playing game where you race down this track trying to make sure that you don't get caught. I believe right now they're working on getting it to Kickstarter. I know right now they're getting the budget and trying to make sure that it has all the funding necessary to have full acrylic standees and all of that type of goodness.
I love acrylic standees. It makes the box so much smaller. It's so much easier.
Yeah. So
acrylics are best.
This is on our radar. This is one we're going to be doing like some drunken coverage of, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Which will be a blast. It's one of the best ways to play these type of games.
Agreed.
But I also thought, coming from a first look haul, it'd be worth kind of showing off and telling you all about. So, Outrun the Bear. Do you think you can survive?
I know I can beat you.
Shut up. Harrow County. This is becoming a game that I am insanely excited about. And the fact that I actually have a physical prototype in front of me means I am not returning it, I don't think.
You don't think you're gonna... I don't think that's how it works, Jesse. When you get a prototype, you usually have to send it on to somebody else.
Not going to.
Okay.
This is coming from Off the Page. That's the publishing house with Jay Cormier. They specialize in bringing comic books into the tabletop world. They made a fairly famous game called Mind MGMT.
Yes.
That game, based off of Shut This Down's review and everyone else, skyrocketed.
Absolutely.
To critical acclaim.
Yep.
But they're still an indie publisher. They're still a publisher that are still like working and figuring out their footprint and trying to hit it big with, I think, their second official or second big title that's coming out. This is Harrow County. This is a game of gothic conflict, and this is a game that is still pushing the line on innovation in a few key ways.
Okay.
First, if you're a fan of Root on my channel, this is that. But it's that designed for 2 to 3 players. Not designed for the 5, 4, 5 that I prefer to play Root at. It's got these asymmetric player factions that each compete for zone control, area control, resource management, and have their own little asymmetric puzzle they're trying to solve for as well.
Cool.
They have their own path to victory, and you're trying to usually drive down the clock or claim a few different locations in order to, well, score the points you need. It has a lot of buffing and counter buffering, has a lot of special powers and abilities, things that you can unlock, items you can upgrade, and it also has the thing that I think Off the Page is becoming the most famous for. Comic books are renowned for telling chapter-based stories.
Okay.
And Off the Page, being a publisher that it's working on bringing comic books to the real world, to life, have really invested in that innovative system. Just like Mind MGMT, you have these modules, or these like mini expansions, or some would say chapters to the story. And these chapters open up as you play through with your companion.
That is very cool.
Unlocking new cards, new characters, new special abilities, new threats, new boards, new everything.
That's cool.
And you can mix and match however you would like. There's even modules that unlock new ways to play the game. And I mean literally new ways to play the game.
Can you tell us about the holes in the box, Jesse?
There are holes. This is not going to be white by the final production copy of it. I believe I'm actually going to like paint mine black or something, so it's not as
because you're keeping it.
Obvious, because I'm keeping it. But this actually slots in right over here, and the combat system in the game is a cube-based combat system, and there's a little hole in the top of the box. Now, if you notice, not everything you dumped in there came out.
That's true.
This is a rigged dice tower.
What?
Listen. More things stick inside of it. It's a customized dice tower built into the box that allows for this odd little puzzle. Where,
that's cool.
Where when you go to battle, when you actually face off in combat, some stuff will work and some stuff won't work. And sometimes some extra cubes that you didn't know you had tucked away fall out.
Oh, that's even more awesome.
It's a neat little system. Harrow County, we're going to have a lot more coverage here on the channel, but this is one that I got to sit down and play, and I have to tell you, if you're a Root fan out there, my comparisons are going to be directly against that.
Directly against that, huh?
What do you think? Should we go on to the very last one?
Yeah, but don't hit me that hard this time.
Oh!
I didn't get a good slap.
You didn't get a good one.
That's true. Hey, look over there.
Oh!
Still didn't get a good...
You're not getting smacked.
It's like the meat fist hand.
Oh, it's just the straight meat fist. Wow. All right. That is, I mean, it's just not, that's just not going to work. Let's move on. Okay, well, that doesn't actually belong here. This is Quodd Heroes, a game that I believe both of us...
We both backed.
Both of us were backing.
Yes.
This is, I believe, the only title produced by Wondermount Games, and it was just recently on Kickstarter, and they did just recently delay the Kickstarter.
Yes.
They canceled the last project for Season 2. And they delayed. And they actually put out a really, really good update.
They did.
Breaking down logistically why they were making that decision, what they thought they could do better for the next campaign, and how they were approaching the next puzzle piece. And I was in hardcore.
Me too.
How far were you in?
I was all the way.
Were you one of the
I actually
like, egregious numbers?
Well, maybe not quite egregious, because I didn't get both. Because like they had the option where you could buy both this one and the old one.
Sure.
So I didn't do that. I just backed all the new stuff, but I literally backed all the new stuff.
I hope
my wife doesn't watch.
I was doing the wooden chest.
Okay, I didn't quite do the wooden chest, but I did everything else.
And I'll tell you why I was doing the wooden chest. This is a game that I have actually owned before.
Oh, really?
Like we do oftentimes, we handed it off to a friend. We like to let games go to people who care about them more than you. Mm-hmm. This is a game that I have actually owned before. And so far, I have not found a game in this genre that does what this game does. Mm-hmm. It's a game that's all based around racing and special powers and abilities, and sometimes it's about like collecting the sheep that are skirting through the land.
And if you haven't seen these pieces,
they're awesome.
They are absolutely amazing.
They're really, really cool.
So cool.
But the core concept of this game is that every single character has powers, movement abilities, based on what side is currently face up. Or face down. I have to actually remember which one that is. And you see here on your board, you have all the different directions and angles for each one of your characters. And you will fill in these slots with the different abilities you have. And you can power up these abilities as well. So they might collect, or they might jump, or they might slide, or they might twist, or they might turn, or they might bounce off someone else, or they might hop into the river and float down a stream. There's so much stuff that each one of these characters can do. They're full of life, they're full of personality, and this game turns into a ruckus little programming game. You bounce this way, then that way, then hop on top of someone, then the stream pushes you down to a missile that you launch off into the back. I had an experience with this game where it was just a, like, take down the enemy, and I built an entire fort around myself using some of these powerful little cards that you pick up, literally placed blocks all around me, barricaded myself in, then someone flipped onto their head, bouncing over my barricade, landing inside where I had a mine placed that blew them up, that bounced them back the other way.
It's such a cool game.
Such a cool game. Do I think this game is right for everyone? No. With the caveat that I think Season 2 might make it way more right for a lot of people. They're streamlining the mechanics of some of the characters.
Yep.
They're adding in new mechanics. They're doing painted miniatures. They're adding in more player modes. They're also adding in a bit more of an approachable rulebook, an approachable rule set. They're doing a lot of stuff that a brand new publisher wouldn't really know what to do with their first game.
And may not have had the resources to do it in the first game.
Yeah. And so this is the final one here. We're going to be doing more dedicated coverage on Quackalope once they relaunch on Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. We're going to be hopefully getting a copy of Season 2 as well. I actually have, and this is something exciting, I have a copy of the Prototype 2nd Edition that we picked up there at Gen Con because I made a point to swing by their booth and say, hey, just wanted to let you know I was one of the all-in backers, support what you guys are doing. I think it was the right decision to relaunch, but I know that's always a really hard decision to make.
It is.
And so we're gonna be throwing our weight against Quodd Heroes a little bit, giving them some love, giving them some support, and showing off what makes this game so maybe unique. Not right for everyone, but a different game from everything else I have on my shelf.
Yep.
That's the standout point. With that being said,
don't hit me this time.
I should be worried about you. Your meat hands. With that being said, this is our 5 hidden gems from Gen Con. Let us know how many you were aware of already, how many you got to check out, and
which ones are you the most excited about?
Which ones are you the most intrigued about? The more comments we see down below, the more likely we'll do a series of dedicated coverage on some of these titles. And also, let us know what you... Something dedicated titles. And also, let us know what we missed, what we overlooked, what we should be talking about, because there's a lot of indie projects out there. We're, as a channel, still figuring out exactly how we leave the door open as wide as possible, while still getting the very best of the best. We'll see you next time.